the idea of sex being bad. My advice for you to get really comfortable with sex and see sex as something good. My sexual program, the 3 videos really focus on that, on helping a man understand how to be very comfortable, and not just comfortable with his sexuality, but to enjoy it, to love it, to want to express it without guilt, and how to do that in a way that calibrates to women's ambivalence about sex because of their conditioning as well, and leads a woman out of that sense of guilt into a realm of freedom and authentic, passionate expression. But it's still fun to play, even though you can be sex positive and be like, yeah, sex is great, but there's nothing wrong with wanting to fuck a woman. And even bringing the woman to that level where she's like, hey, I love to get fucked, this is great. There's still an element that we can play with where sex is bad or naughty. Naughty is a great word. Women use naughty a lot because it's like, if sex is too acceptable, it kind of loses the fun, doesn't it? If you look up Alan Watson's sexuality, I think, something about sex, sexuality. But what he talks about is how, on the big picture, humans like to dance and play and create games for themselves. And one game we've created is the sex game, where we want to have it, but we create a barrier or a challenge for ourselves so that by breaking through that barrier, that challenge, it's more enjoyable. So if sex was just so totally open, we were just having orgies in the streets, it wouldn't be as fun. It would sort of lose its appeal or its excitement. There wouldn't be a feeling of the soul breaking through in the physical manifestation of the human form. So we create where sex is bad. If you're playing bad, it's not as fun if there's no other team trying to stop you. As soon as you have an opponent, now we're playing a game. Now there's some challenge. Now the human experience of breaking through barriers is possible now. So big picture, that's going on a spiritual level, but you can play with in the bad. A lot of women have fantasy of having sex in a public place, and that's because it's forbidden, it's bad. You want to be sex positive, you want to be comfortable with sex, but at the same time, you can play with the concept of naughty. I'm going to teach sexual with women how to make jokes and flirt in a sexual way about sexual topics in a more sincere, kind of serious way. But what's going to happen a lot of times is the woman will say, oh, you're bad, or wow, you're really forward, you're really sexual. Or I've even had women say, what makes you think you can be that sexual with me? Or I can't believe you just said that. I think there's 2 levels to what they're doing. Number 1 is trying to put up that front that they're good. But number 2, what they're doing is they're creating this barrier that I have to break through, which allows them to feel my thrust. That's why, I think partially why women don't approach men and why women will wait for you to approach them, is because it's almost like a screen, it's a test. Number 1, if a woman approaches a man, she looks to the man and to anyone watching. A woman wants to feel your masculine penetration, your one of the parts of ACT. The T in ACT is thrust. A woman wants to feel that. She wants to feel your hard-on for life and for her. Women want to see which man up and make a move, which man's going to be proactive. She wants to see which man desires her so much that he doesn't care about whether or not people are watching or whether or not he's interrupting her. I've had my most success with the women that turn me on the most, which is sort of the opposite of most guys. Most guys struggle with the women they want the most, but for me, after I sorted some things out, I actually struggle with women that don't turn me on. It's the women that do turn me on a lot that I'm most successful with, and the reason for that is because there's a huge amount of desire and sexual passion coming through, and I'm interrupting her, but the whole time I got a smile on my face and a look in my eyes like I want to bend her over right now. However, I'm able to balance with being respectful, not crossing the line too much. I crossed the line a little bit, but not too much. And I don't ask her to agree with it. I don't care if she wants to call me naughty or dirty or pretend she's not interested. I don't care. And part of that is because I don't look to women as the authority on my masculinity. So I really don't care what she thinks of me. So whereas most guys will see a beautiful woman and he'll start competing, dude, this is in her mind, competing with that guy for her approval. I don't do that. Her approval is not even part of the program. All I want to do is show her my heart on for her, emotionally and physically. I want to show her how much she turns me on. Part of that is exploring about her, learn what makes her tick,